Welcome back, Art Invaders! Today we are diving into the world of abstract 3D designs to create mesmerizing organic shapes with a futuristic chrome aesthetic. Perfect for techno-inspired poster designs and eye-catching animations. This tutorial is beginner-friendly and packed with pro tips to elevate your motion graphics.
Let's bring your creativity to life.
The 3D objects.
Find the code in the video and get project files. Be quick, Art Invaders. The files are only freely available for 24 hours after the video release. Alright, let's start with the tutorial. First, we delete the light, the cube and the camera with the X key. And we start in the project with the stone. I created a stone pack for you in Bridge because some people had problems exporting the materials. You can find the files on my Patreon, link is in the caption. The stone pack look like this. You can choose between these three stones. I take this one in the middle for the project, copy it and paste it into the scene. So in the next step, select a stone, open the transform window and zero the location out. Press also on Y in the axis cross and rotate the stone and rescale it however you want. Alright, that are my rotation values and these are my scale values. In the next step, we will create the holes inside of the stone. For this, select the stone, go in the edit mode, and we also go to the line viewport shading to create at the same moment in the front and on the back side the holes. Now we take the area selection and we switch to the select cycle. Create a random hole on the top, press X and delete faces, and we need a second hole, a smaller one. Press again X and delete faces. In the next step, we go to selection and we fill the holes that it looks more realistic. Change also the radius to 5 and select one line. You can also switch again back to viewport shading 2. Now we go to select loops and edge loops. Now the hole is selected. Go to the axis cross to X. Take the move tool and move it to the end. Perfect. So now you can also see some issues in the back. You can rescale it until you don't see it anymore. That looks good. And repeat it also for the second hole. Alright. When you're ready, switch back to the object mode. And now we will create the studio background. For this, add a plane. Rescale it in all axes by 10. Go again to the edit mode. Take the line selection. Select the line behind the object. Press E to get the extrude tool. And press Z to extrude it in the Z-axis. Select now again this line in the background. Select on this side the bevel tool and bevel it. Now this window appear here. And increase the segments to get around edges. Alright, in the next step, go back to the object mode, select the background and bring it more to the front. Alright, and now to see also the floor in the Y perspective, we select the background and rotate it by -3 and bring it down because we want the perfect front view on the stone. In the next step, we create this organic shape around the stone. And for this, we need geometry nodes. This window, change here to geometry node editor, create a sphere, bring it up, press on new, and delete group input. And to understand what we do now, we create a sphere with two different meshes. In addition, random parts of the sphere are removed. Alright, and first we search for icosphere. We also search for separate geometry. Here we change to faces. Here we also need random value. Search also for join geometry. In the inverted slot, we search for subdivision mesh connected with geometry of join geometry. And we insert now a triangular mesh with the triangulate tag. We also need a dual mesh to create two meshes on one object. And in the end, we insert shade smooth. Because for geometry nodes, we need for the objects a shade smooth tag. And in the end, connect it with group output. Alright, and to see what we do now, make the stone invisible. And as I already explained, we have now this mesh. We increase the subdivision in the first tag to 2. And we change here the value to 0.27. This value said how much of which mesh should be visible. Alright, in the next step we go here on the side to the modifier tag and we start with the wireframe. And so now we get the mesh that we need for the project. The values are right. To get a more organic shape, we also insert a subdivision surface. Here we change the level view port to 2. And in the end, we transform the mesh with the simple deform. Twist is right. We twist it in the z-axis and we use a value of 200. Perfect. That looks good. Make the stone visible again and use the transform window to rescale the mesh. You can also rescale the stone. For this, you have first apply the rotation. Press Command A, apply rotation, and now you can transform it however you want. Alright, well done guys. That was the complicated part. Now everything becomes simple. We start now with this abstract shape. For this, we need a torus. Here we change major and minor radius to 50 and we change the major radius to 1.2 and minor radius to 0.05. So in the next step we go to the modifier tag and work with simple deform. Here we need twist and 250 degrees in X to get this result. Now we use a second simple deform. Here we use the Z-axis and here we use 200 degrees. And we also need a third one, simple deform. Here we need the y-axis and again the angle 200 degrees. Alright, subdivision surface to smooth everything out. Here we need 3 in the viewport and 3 in the renderer. Alright, rotate it now in Y and rescale it to a size that you like. So, if you want to use the same values as me, I change the rotation by 90 degrees and these are my scale values. In the next step we create the mesh sphere and for this we need a UV sphere. Bring it to the top, go now in the edit mode, change in the axis cross to X, line viewport and take the select box and select half of the sphere. And now press X and delete faces. Perfect. Go back to viewport shading 2 and back to the object mode. Here we use again the wireframe deformer and we also use the simple deform. Here we use a value of 80 degrees. Use now again the transform window and rescale the sphere to the size of the abstract shape. These are my scale values and in the next step we insert the 2 small stones. Use again the stone pack and for this project I use this one. Copy it and paste it into the scene and rescale it to a size that you like. These are my scale values and now duplicate the stone for the other side. Perfect. To make it more realistic you can change a little bit the rotation values that the stones look different. In the next step we will create the rings and the rings have a lot of details because I use the extra objects in Blender. To get them, go under Preferences, search for extra objects, and we need Add Mesh Extra Objects. Put a check mark to it and refresh the scene. Now go under Add Mesh and the extra objects are shown here. Go to Gears and Gear Warm. Here we change the first value to 6, the second one to 15, the raw height to 0.01 and the radius to 0.28 and the other values to 0.04 and to 0.01. Bring it to the right position. Perfect. In the next step we create our chain. For this make the backplane invisible. Alright, and for this we add a torus. Here we use 24 segments and 12 segments, and we change the major radius to 0.3 and the minor radius to 0.1. Bring now the torus to the side and rotate it in X by 90 degrees. In the next step, we switch in the edit mode, select the line selection on the top, go also to line viewport. Alright, in the next step, take the rectangle tool and select the lines in the middle. Take the bevel tool and bevel it. In the next step, we select half of the torus, take the move tool and move it to the side to get the typical chain object. Alright, now we go back to viewport number 2 and we change in the object mode. Press now with the right mouse button on it and shade smooth. Bring the chain object to the side and we need 2 different materials to the chain object. So go under the material tag, create a new material here, rename it to silver. Copy and paste the chain object, bring it to the side. In the second one, you delete the silver material, press the plus icon to create a new one, or here the plus icon in this case, and change the rotation value to 0 and rename the material to orange. Perfect. So, look if the chain fits perfectly into each other. That looks good. Select now the 2 objects and join them. Go under location and zero the location out. Move now the chain object to the 3D cursor. It's here. It has to be in the beginning. Press now with the right mouse button on it, set origin to 3D cursor, and now rescale the whole chain object. 0.15 in all axes looks good. Alright, and in the next step we draw the spline where the chain have to go. For this we have to add under curve a Bezier curve. Go now to the edit mode, press X to delete the vertices, and now you can use the pen tool to draw a spline of your choice. It's important that the spline go through the holes. You can use the axis cross to start from the top to the ground, something like this. And now you can select the points and move them until it fits in the scene. This is my result. And now we repeat it for the second hole. You can copy and paste the spline and transform it. Alright, when you're ready with the 2 splines, switch back in the object mode and select the chain object. Go under the modifier tag and add the array modifier. And we also need the curve deform. Add here the first curve, change here to Z, and now you can increase the count. Alright, that looks wrong. You have to go under the form axis and change to X. As you can see, the chain is a little bit distorted. You have to change the factor X to 0.8. And change again the count to the whole length of the curve. Perfect. So now copy and paste the chain object, delete the new created spline. Go now under the new chain object and insert the second spline. Perfect. Here you have also to change the count. Alright, and in the last step, we duplicate again the chain element, delete the new created spline. Now we go under add, curve and circle, bring it to the top, take the new chain element, add the circle spline inside and bring it to the top. Rescale it by 0.8 in all axes, the chain object, and change the count. Rename all chain elements with the spline in one name that we can easily animate it later on in the animation part. Alright, select now chain circle both elements and rotate it a little bit. That looks good. In the last step, you can also make the plane visible again. And we are almost ready, guys. Because we add now the text here in the front. Go under add text. Rotate it in X by 90 degrees and also by 180 degrees in Z. To change the text, go in the edit mode and write the term of your choice. I write Art Invader. Go back to the object mode and go under the data tag. Under font, you can insert a font of your choice. I use the agency font, something really simple. Under character spacing, I choose a value of 1.1. Go now under geometry and extrude it by 0.1 and bevel it 0.01. That looks good. And as you can see, here's a small issue. To fix it, select the text, convert it to a mesh, go in the edit mode and select the points that are wrong. Press X and delete. Go back to the object mode and rescale the text and change the rotation. To change the orientation and location, it's easier when the origin is in the center. Go under set origin to center of mass. So in the end, we add a camera, press the camera icon, use the location values to fit your object in the scene. Under the output tag, change the format to 1080 by 1350 pixels. And that's it for the 3D object part. Watch the next tutorial 2 weeks before release as a YouTube member. More information's in the info box or in the caption.
The materials.
Now you can download all HDRI maps and textures for the material part.
Go, go, go. Download it.
And let's move on with the tutorial. Now we came to the cool part, the material part. And first we split our view in two. Here we change to shader editor. And in the first window we change to viewport shading number 4. And first we start with the lightning. Go in the world mode. Search for environment texture. And insert here the HDRI map from my Patreon. Link is in the caption. Under background, we change the strength to 4. And as you can see, the stone material is already created. And in the next step, we go back here to the object mode. And we go under the camera. Here we put a check mark under ambient inclusion to create shadows. That looks good. And we also put a check mark under screen space, reflections, and put the check mark under refraction. Alright, and let's start with the background material. Select the background, press the plus to create a new material, change metallic to 1 and roughness to 0.1. Here we also change the color to pure white. Okay, and it's a little bit too glossy. We take a value of 0.5. That looks good. And select also the background and shade it smooth. In the next step, we create the chain material. Go under the material tag. And we already created before the orange and silver material. Select first silver. Change metallic to 1 and roughness to 0.2. Go now under the orange material. Go under the color and insert here your color of your choice. These are my color code. Here we also change metallic to 1 and roughness to 1.5. Perfect. So in the next step, select the second chain, select the orange material, and here in the top, you can select the already created orange material, select silver on the side, and select the silver material that we created. Repeat it also for this chain object. Alright, now select the mesh sphere in the background, insert also the silver material, select the abstract shape, insert also the silver material. Select this organic shape, insert also the silver material. Also the rings is the same silver material. And for the text, insert the orange material. Alright, and as you can see, the silver material don't work on this organic shape. It's because it's still a geometry node object. To fix it, convert it to a mesh and insert again the silver material. And now you get the right result. Alright, now we copy and paste this object and here we insert the orange material. Go out of the camera view and change the position. Because when you change now the position, you get this double layered effect. And this process we also repeat for this part. Copy and paste it, insert the orange material and change a little bit of the position. You can also use this window here. Alright, that looks good. And as you can see, the text is really dark. We have to insert a light. Go under Add, Light, Point Light. Bring it in the front. This is my location value. And I also increase the watt to 100. And yeah, that's it for the material part. Do you want the whole project file?
You can have it.
With over 70 other files that we have already created together, guys. You can find them on my Patreon, link is in the caption.
The animation.
Alright, now we came to the last part, the animation part. And first, we switch here back to the timeline. And first we start with the chain. Select the chain, go under location, insert the keyframe, bring it to the end of the animation and change the X value and the chain is animated. I choose a value of 3 and insert a new keyframe, and that's it. Repeat it also for the other chains, and don't forget the chain on the top. Alright, select here the chain and the chain circle, convert it to mesh, chain circle spline you can now delete. Select on the object 0y out, and now we use the Z value to animate it. Insert a keyframe and use a value of 180 degrees. Now it's also animated. Can also can go now in the middle, change the Y value back and insert a keyframe. Now you have also the rotation on the top. So now we animate the rings. For this we need the rotation, insert a keyframe, insert also the same keyframe in the end, and in the middle you can use random values. Insert a keyframe and now it's animated. You can also use small values between. That looks good. Alright, now we select the second ring, insert a keyframe and repeat the whole process. Alright, in the end we select the camera and we also animate it a little bit. Select for focal length 55, insert a keyframe, go to the beginning of the animation and use 45 as value, insert a new keyframe, and now when we hit play, it zoom in on our object. Okay, and if you want, select also the stone and the ring and animate also the location. 3 reasons why you should follow me on my social media channels. 1. There you can get exclusive shoutouts if you tag me at Art Invader. 2. There you can vote for upcoming projects. 3. Exclusive quick tips to get a pro in 3D. Alright, when you rendered your animation, we make really quick color adjustments with the free software CapCut. Drag and drop your animation first in this window, then in the second one. Select the animation, go under adjustments. Here we put a check mark under auto adjust, increase it by 50. Here we also change saturation by 5, contrast by 10, highlights by 3, and brilliance by 5. We also increase the clarity value by 30. And yeah, so maybe the auto adjust is too strong. 20 looks good. Alright. In the next step, we insert the strobo effect. Go under effects, search strobo. And we need the black flash. To insert it, press the plus icon, increase it to the whole animation duration. Here we select for twist 0, for strength 5, for size 0 and speed 100. So, and now we have the strobo effect on our animation. You can also insert in CapCut music, go under audio, music and search, for example, techno industrial. Alright, I found a really hard song. Press plus to add the music, and if we hit play, you can see the animation is a little bit too slow. Select the animation, go to speed, and here we choose a value of 0.5. Now it's faster. And to get a perfect loop, copy and paste it. Select the second clip and press reverse. Now select both animations to increase the animation duration. Don't forget to increase the whole black flash effect. Alright, and in the end we have to cut the song. Go to the end of the animation and this is here the cut tool. Cut it and delete the back part. So, and if we hit play, we are ready. If you enjoyed the video, please consider supporting me with a like, comment or even a subscription. Thank you, Art Invaders. And we see us in the next
week.